it, Manny! How we doing tonight, Boba? Everybody having fun?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah! Oh, thank goodness it's Friday, right? TGIFF, right? If you're wondering why there's a second F there, stay cute, stay innocent. Either that or enjoy more profanity in your life.
We are rated R.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that. Alright, so I'm going to be doing some comedy tonight, and it's really hard to follow up that act. You guys were freaking awesome, you know. You guys killed it. So, I was preparing for this whole thing for a while, for about a week. And then suddenly a situation happened in the last couple of days that, let me tell you, I had to share it. I had to share it. So, sometimes life's lemonade is too good not to share it. So I'm going to McDonald's one day after finishing up chores at home, and me and my wife are too tired to cook. We call McDonald's Unreliable because it's like right down the block. Right down the block, and it's ready for us. We're never walking there. Ever. We drive there. Anyway, this particular day, when I go through the drive-thru, there is one particular individual who was attending the drive-thru. I loved it because he was angry focus. Anybody here ever met angry focus?
Yes.
There you go. See, angry focus is when you're having a shit day, just a bad day because your boss called you out, you dealt with a bad customer, you're done with life. You're done with life, but somehow you channel that into productiveness. You somehow become more efficient working than you ever were before. I'm gonna do some fucking good job today. And today I encountered this individual, but it took me a while to realize it. So, as I'm placing my order, this guy starts putting "yes, sir" at the end of everything I say. Welcome to McDonald's, sir. How may I help you, sir? What would you like to order today, sir? I like some nuggets. Yes, sir. Do you want that a meal? Sure. Yes, sir. What size do you want it? Medium. Yes, sir. And he just kept going and going and going like that. Eventually, I'm like, all right, no, you know what? I'm going to have fun with this. This is fun. I want to jump in this. So as he's still taking my order, I feel like a little kid playing double dutch where I'm just waiting there for my turn to jump. And then eventually he does it. He finally asks me a yes or no question. Do you want ketchup and salt with that? Yes, sir. And here's the best part though. He knows I picked up on it and he added to it. So now it's not just every question, now every single sentence has yes, sir. All right, sir, will that be all your orders, sir? No, sir. All right, sir, do you want more, sir? Yes, sir. Oh, more nuggets. Yes, sir. By the time I finish the order and I pull up to the window, I wasn't expecting what happened. Okay? This man, it was scary. All right, this man looked like Ronald McDonald had been practicing necromancy in the back and hiring employees from beyond the grave, right? Sunken eyes, hollow cheeks. It was terrifying, but I didn't notice at first. I'm still on the hype. I'm still on the hype of the joke. So when I roll down my window and I hand out my cards, I didn't do it, sir. And he looks at me. He tries to smile, but the way his face looks, he ends up looking like Jeff the Killer. And he's just there like... you doing okay there? I've been working a 10-hour shift, sir. Will that be all, sir? I'll just hand him the card and I move on. I realize I just finished pissing this man off. This man is done with the day. He is done, and I just finished burying him. I feel so bad about that. But, oh man, that was just great. So, for those of you here that were here last week, this is actually my second time doing this. All right, the first time I thought it was so much fun. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do an ass out of myself twice. Sounds like a great idea, right? So, I spoke of a professor of mine. His name is Sosa. Professor Sosa. And I like the man, right? As a professor, he sucked. He was horrible. Horrible professor. He failed almost all his students. He had a reputation, and he carried himself with such arrogance. Whenever he handed in any notes or did anything, it was just there like... That was his glare. We all knew what it was. Every student who knew him knew what that was. But as bad as he was as a professor, he was even weirder as an individual. Him and a friend of mine called Benny, They had a penny war. You know what a penny war is? It's when they're throwing pennies at each other in public in undisclosed moments. Nobody's ready for it. They just suddenly flip around it. And let me tell you, it's funny. To me, it was funny because at first I didn't know about it. But when I found out about it, I got involved indirectly. All right, I was a spectator, then I became a participant. So me and my friend were just hanging out at a cafe between classes, enjoying our break, sitting down, cool. And then comes in the professor with this pack of professors. Because they all travel in packs. They're like hunting wolves, just getting ready there, walking around all over the place. They're a posse. They're inseparable. Up until now, nothing happens yet, right? It only happens when they first trade glances, when they look around and they just, they know who it is. They stare at each other for a second, everything goes quiet.
Thank God.
Everything goes quiet, everybody's scared, nobody knows what's going on, but suddenly the tension rises. They look at each other, and it's like, anybody here remember Kill Bill? When the bride will look around?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's the glance. That's the glance. They were just looking at each other. Everybody else panicked. Now my friend starts frantically looking for pennies to turn around and toss them, and the professor's over there doing the same. I don't know what's going on so far. I don't. So I see my friend struggling. He's like, dude, you got a penny. You got a penny. I need a penny. I need a penny now. I'm over here. Is this 1926? Are you planning to buy a loaf of bread? It's a penny. Who asked for a penny? So I reach out and hand him a quarter. Nice individual. Here you go. You want to buy a soda? Finish paying it off. He smacks it out of my hand. No, I need a penny, dude. I need a penny. Chill. Okay. Reach out, pull out 4 pennies. My friend is 5'4", 3 feet wide, and 300 pounds of pure fun. I've never seen this man lift up so fast. He's just sitting there, suddenly, whoo, it's like a mammoth rising. And he just turns around, and then the professor got his pennies, and they just start chugging at each other in the middle of the cafe, just throwing at each other. And I'm just sitting there baffled. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. This is the best thing. It didn't stop there, though. Another incident, we were just walking on the sidewalk, and this is the part where I got involved. Alright, this is the part where I stopped being Sweden and got involved in the war. Me and my friend are just walking on the sidewalk, and then out of nowhere, boop, we're like, what the hell? What the? But suddenly the smell of copper rises in the air. As we start searching around, we see a car slowly pass by. And then we notice my professor was being driven by his coworker. He rolls down the window, pulls his head out, drive by! And he just starts throwing pennies out of the car. At this point, I now get involved. It's like, no. I'm joining this. I'm enlisting. I was doing the covert op missions for my friend. What this means, my friend was the Marines, I was the Navy SEALs. I was the one doing all the sabotage. I was the one doing all the little sabotages, all the missions that nobody knew about. But I always left the penny behind so that the professor knew it was him. So the professor hates Jar Jar Binks. Hates it with a passion. Loves Star Wars. Loves Star Wars like nobody else, but hates Jar Jar. So my friend gets a pin. The little pins he put in backpacks. And he makes it of Jar Jar Binks with a caption, Misa be the best thing ever made by Star Wars. And it's actually printed that way. It's not that the words are eloquent, they're actually made that way. He gives me the pin. I want you to put this on his backpack. You want me to approach a professor, mind you, that I'm still taking classes with, and pin this on him. No, be stealthy about it. Be stealthy, figure it out. Alright. I thought it was fun. So I actually sat down and did my research. I followed the professor. I saw which arm he would take off the backpack first and which one he would put on first. If he picked it up, then he turned it left, then he turned it right. And then I strategically selected the best desk in the class so that I could see him from my peripheral vision and he can't tell that I'm staring at him. Definitely. So one day, finally, my moment of opportunity shows up. The professor lifts up, goes outside, talks to another student, maybe talk to administrator, employer. I don't care. This is my opportunity. This is my moment. I have no idea how long I got. I have no idea what's waiting for me, but I was gonna do it. So I stand up. I reach in my backpack, and I start moving towards his backpack at the front. Just do, 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 do. And I was able to sneak it in. I was like, I've got this. I put it at the top of the front pocket where I know he's gonna turn and pick it up. And then I go back down, sit down, no witnesses, no evidence, completely no tracks. I am ready. After the class, I was still sitting down, pretending I was picking up my nose and getting ready, notes. And then I see him find the pin right in his backpack. He's just, okay, who the hell did this? Who the hell did this? My friend taped a penny to the back of the pin. So when the professor flipped it around, he knew who it was. And it looked like something out of a comic book. He's just there like, penny. And I'm just sitting there like, it was the best victory I had, but that was the first time I got involved in that. Oh man, that was so great. You know, college wasn't all that bad. College is actually where I met my wife. I met her entirely by accident. That's not true. I met entirely by accident for another friend of mine. So I have a friend who is drama prone, if you want to call it that way. He's the kind of guy that will fall in love with any girl, anywhere. She blinks twice. It's not funny. That's it. That's it. Please. Please. And the problem with this is that every time it fails. Every time it fails, he just runs back to his friends. Life's not fair. Why does this happen to me? Stop chasing every tail. It's not going to happen to you. Get to know people. So this one day, I've had it. I know he had a breakup, and I didn't want to deal with it. I had no intention of dealing with it. And in the classroom, there's my wife. Not at the time, obviously. She's just a girl that I see. And I look at her. Hey, do you have lunch plans? We haven't spoken up until this point. Not once have we traded words or glances. I just look at her and it's like, do you have lunch plans? Anything? No? Okay, you want to have lunch? Cool, let's do it. And then when my friend shows up, let me stop you right there, dude. I'm sorry. I had these plans with this girl, man. Sorry. I meant to tell you, but I didn't expect that to be one of the best days of my life because I have been with my wife for 8 years now. All of you that clap, get the hell out. No, I do love my wife. She's a great support. Great person. Strong individual. And all the time, not all the time, but there are people that ask us, how do you guys make it work so long? How do you guys do it? I always tell them the same thing. It's like, well, there is one surefire way to a man's heart. Communication. Oh man, let me tell you, I've seen a lot of that. A lot of people not communicating, it bothers me. To anybody that's in a relationship and wants to know how to figure it out, how to communicate, I don't mean sit down and be like, honey, what's wrong? No? Okay. No. You have to stalk your partner like you were a National Geographic documentary and learn everything about her as if she was some kind of special animal and you just have to be like, oh, that's how that works. That's how it works. Because that's just how it is. That's just how it is. I had to sit down with my wife. She watches these shows, does these things, does all these things. I hate soap operas. I hate soap operas. Mexican, American, Korean. I don't care what soap opera you watch. I hate them all. They are. They are pretty stupid, but it's like, I understand why they're addictive. I know why people are addicted to them.
Because it's not real life, that's why.
No, because it takes 2,000 years to solve the smallest argument.
I agree with him on that one.
People just don't communicate. They'll communicate in their brains. They'll be like in their brains, why don't you love me? And their heads are like, I do love you. Oh, but we can't be together. Oh. And then they turn around and what comes out of their mouth is, I never loved you. You were never for me. Everything was fake. And they just start running off. It's like, you could have saved a whole season, prevented 2 murders, 3 people getting fired, and 4 people becoming rivals if you had just said what was in your mind.
Literally General Hospital.
I got way more to talk about that, but that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you very much.